I attended Launchpad remotely and it was a blast. I learned a lot of things. And this is a project I worked on, which is YouTube Download IPFS, which is a wraparound YouTube download. For those of you who don't know, YouTube download is like a script where you can provide a YouTube URL, download the video for your local consumption, and people use it for all kinds of things to like archive YouTube videos or like share it with each other where internet is not something available. So the goals I set out for this project was basically building a wrapper around yt-dl to preserve and share videos on IPFS, that is our decentralized web. Basically have a simple video player which could actually play that video, use a document store to like save YouTube keys and content mapping, and then host it on the public internet so that anybody can like cache it locally and then start playing those videos out.
I don't have human interaction. So
oh, sorry about that. So what I built, let's see a demo. You can try it as we go. This is available on Docker Hub right now. To set this up, you'll have to run this command, which is docker pull wizkit /yt-dl-ipfs :latest. You can copy it from the slides itself, but I have it copied here. Now to run it, I can just pass in the interactive flag, which is docker run interactive, with the image name and the version I want to run. And what it will give me is basically a it brings in all the dependencies and everything and gives me a prompt to enter the video URL. So this is a video from John Oliver, which is about the Qatar World Cup, which he recently posted. He's one of the critically acclaimed anchors I really love, and his videos get taken down all the time by different regimes. So that makes it a good case. So it downloads it, connects to my local IPFS nodes and saves it there, and then gives me a link to the video player which I built and is hosted statically. Now I can click on that and it starts playing over IPFS. So if I go to the network tab here, I can see all the content got loaded from the local network. Quick refresh will actually tell me that. All the videos are loaded from ipfs.io, but since I'm using IPFS Companion, these get loaded from my local node instead of loading from the network. And that's basically the demo I have built out for you. The Docker images are live on hub.docker.com, so you can actually go here and check it out for yourself. The repo is open source, so you can start pulling these images and start caching videos locally. And let me know if you have any questions around this. But before that, there's a scope for like improvements here. This does not cover pinning multiple formats. Like YouTube has a lot of video formats that it presents for each video from anywhere, like to load videos on 3G network versus like 5G networks. They'll do optimized, like pre-optimized videos in all those formats which users are about to use. So we can download video content in different formats and pin those. This is not happening right now, but that's on my plan to like implement. Loading Clear over the internet requires a stable gateway, which means it does not work very well if you don't have local gateway installed. So I would recommend to have a local gateway running and provide it to the script or the player so that we can do that. Like IPFS Companion does it by default. Like my local gateway is connected here, so make sure you have that running somehow. The tests are missing. Like any MVP, the Docker images need a bit improvement. The connection can get flaky at times, but this works most of the time. The web player here can have more meta information. Like right now, I'm just loading the title, but all of the information is available here. So I can just like fetch everything from here and like show that, but I did not spend too much time on building the UI. So just like make it practical. Having a faster internet helps, but in reality, what I should have been doing is downloading different chunks of those video and uploading those chunks in a content archive format instead of like uploading the file of the video directly. And in future, I would also like to support IPNS, which would just make content resolution much more easier. right now it shares a hash, which we don't want. So IPNS would make things so much better in this case. I also plan to add a Chrome extension or maybe an extension to the IPFS companion where if you are on YouTube, you get a button, you just click it there and it just archives that video in IPFS for you and gives you a link to the custom like video player that you can use. During this project, what I learned was a new web framework, which is called yt-dl-ipfs. I've not worked with this before. So I spent time learning on this. It's a lightweight glue around web components, which is like an ECMAScript standard. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this, but I think this is really nice and it just produces really small bundles, which can be used on the web. So static hosting becomes so much easier. IPFS routing behaves quite differently when using Companion. That means if I'm loading content over IPFS IO, it automatically gets routed to my local host. But if I'm using it over Cloudflare IPFS, it does not do that. So there's some inconsistency there, which I plan to address sometime later. Adding content to IPFS is quite fast, but retrieving is like really, really slow. So content discovery needs some improvement. Building mapping between URLs and manifests is like really hard. IPNS might be a solution, but I didn't get time to explore that. So I would like to learn more about that. And IPFS local APIs are somewhat aging with IPFS.js. Good thing we are building it again. So hopefully we can have a better API going forward. And don't forget to vote for me. And that's my time.